Ever wondered why some people read a ton of self-help books yet remain stuck in the same place? Well, let me tell you a little story. Imagine someone who decides they want to get in shape. They invest in a fancy gym membership, buy the snazziest workout gear, and even get a high-tech water bottle that reminds them to hydrate. They have everything they need to start their fitness journey. But there's just one little problem. They never actually go to the gym. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's absurd. Why would anyone do that? And you're absolutely right, it is absurd. But isn't that exactly what we do when we consume a plethora of self-improvement content without ever taking any action? We all love the idea of self-improvement. We devour books, podcasts, and videos about becoming better versions of ourselves. We invest in online courses, attend webinars, and follow motivational speakers on social media. We're like kids in a candy store, gobbling up every piece of wisdom we can get our hands on. But here's the kicker. Just like our friend with the unused gym membership, we often forget the most crucial part, taking action. Consuming self-improvement content without applying it is like buying a gourmet cookbook and not cooking anything. It's like learning to swim by reading about it, but never jumping into the water. You see, self-improvement isn't just about learning, it's about doing. It's about taking those nuggets of wisdom and weaving them into the fabric of our daily lives. It's about turning knowledge into action, and action into habits. So the next time you find yourself binge-watching motivational videos or picking up yet another self-help book, ask yourself this: am I using this to inspire action, or am I just collecting information? Remember, the goal isn't to become the most knowledgeable person in the room, it's to become the best version of yourself. So remember, consuming self-improvement content without taking action is like buying a treadmill and using it as a clothes rack. Now, what if I told you that taking action is not as scary as it sounds? It's actually the secret ingredient in the recipe of self-improvement. You see, knowledge is like a toolbox. It's useless if you don't pick up the tools and start building. Let's imagine for a moment our friend, let's call him Bob. Bob loves swimming. He watches every swimming championship on TV, reads books about swimming techniques, and can talk for hours about the butterfly stroke. Bob is an encyclopedia of swimming knowledge. But here's the catch. Bob has never stepped foot in a pool. One sunny day, Bob decides it's time to swim. He steps up to the edge, dives in, and sinks like a stone. People rush to his rescue and pull him out, gasping and spluttering. Bob is shocked. "But I've watched all the videos," he exclaims. Now, we can't blame Bob. He's consumed all the knowledge he could find, but he made the classic mistake of confusing consumption with action. Watching videos about swimming doesn't make you a swimmer, just like watching cooking shows doesn't make you a chef. The only way to truly learn something is by doing it. The same applies to self-improvement. You can read all the self-help books in the world, listen to motivational speeches all day, and fill your brain with knowledge. But if you never step into the pool, if you never apply what you've learned, you're just a spectator in the game of life. Taking action might seem daunting. It's like standing at the edge of the pool, the water looking deep and cold. But remember, every Olympic swimmer started by just getting their feet wet. You don't need to dive in head first. You can start small. Take that first step. It's better to try and fail than to never try at all. So it's clear that watching Michael Phelps won't make you an Olympic swimmer, right? You've got to jump in the pool. So how do we strike that perfect balance between consuming and doing? Well, let's dive right into that. Picture this. You're hosting a fancy dinner party. You want to impress your guests with a culinary masterpiece, so you decided to cook beef Wellington. You've never made it before, but hey, you have the recipe, right? You spend hours, days even, poring over the recipe, memorizing every ingredient, every step. You become a walking, talking beef Wellington encyclopedia. But when the big day comes, you realize you've never actually cooked anything. You have all the knowledge, but none of the experience. The result? A culinary catastrophe. Instead of a golden, juicy beef Wellington, you end up with a charred lump that looks more like a meteorite than a meal. Now, does that mean you should never read a recipe? Of course not, but it does highlight the importance of balancing consumption, reading the recipe, with action, actually cooking the dish. So how do we achieve this balance in our self-improvement journey? First, start small. Don't try to cook a beef Wellington on your first try. Start with a grilled cheese sandwich. Similarly, don't try to overhaul your life overnight. Start with small, manageable changes. Second, practice mindfulness. Be aware of how much time you're spending consuming versus doing. If you find yourself spending more time reading self-help books than actually implementing their advice, it might be time to adjust your balance. Third, don't be afraid of failure. Just like cooking, self-improvement is a process. You're going to make mistakes. You might even burn a few beef Wellingtons along the way, but that's okay. Each failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Lastly, remember to celebrate your progress. Every grilled cheese sandwich you make brings you one step closer to that beef Wellington. Every small step you take in your self-improvement journey is a victory worth celebrating. Remember, reading a recipe won't fill your belly. You've got to get in the kitchen and cook. And what's the secret sauce that binds consuming and doing together? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our star player, consistency. You see, consistency is the rhythm of success. It's the drumbeat that propels us forward in our self-improvement journey. Without it, we're like a ship lost at sea, tossed about by the waves of whims and fancies. Just imagine a fellow, let's call him Bob. Now, Bob is enthusiastic about self-improvement. So, on Monday, he's up at dawn, bending into pretzel-like shapes on his yoga mat. Come Tuesday, Bob swapped his yoga mat for a canvas, dabbing passionately at it with a paintbrush. Wednesday rolls around and Bob's belting out tunes in the shower, convinced he's the next big pop star. But here's the problem. Bob's all over the place. He's dabbling, not diving deep. And while he may have fun, he's not really improving in any area because he's not consistent. He's a bit like a bee flitting from flower to flower, never staying long enough to gather the nectar. Consistency, on the other hand, is sticking with the yoga, the painting, or the singing long enough to see real progress. It's about setting a sustainable pace and sticking to it come what may. So, trying to be a yogi on Monday, a painter on Tuesday, and a singer on Wednesday might just leave you as a confused jack of all trades. So, what did we learn today? We've tackled the delicate dance between consuming self-improvement content and taking action. We've discovered that it's all about balance, about knowing when to absorb wisdom and when to apply it. And remember, consistency is your secret sauce, the magic ingredient that turns dreams into reality. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found value in this video, we'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We would love to hear what you think or what you would like to see next from us, so please comment below. Every new day brings with it a new opportunity to transform your life. Stay motivated, stay inspired, and we can't wait to see you in our next video.